All right, everybody, we're back here once again talking about Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger uh, about what he talked about with Bitcoin and what he would do with it. So, kind of what I took it from yesterday was just a little bit different than after listening to it. I kind of had a little bit of different opinion. I just know he doesn't believe in it, but and he believes in farmland and apartments and stuff like that. So, which I do too. So it's what's produced money throughout the years, and farmland's produced food, and apartments we gotta have. So here's Warren's take on this, and hopefully you guys like it. And thanks for coming back. I appreciate it. One more time.
I shouldn't answer any questions on the subject, but I will. There's all kinds of people watching this that are long Bitcoin, and there's nobody that's short. And nobody wants their windpipe. I don't blame them. I don't like people who step on my windpipe. But I would say this, that if the people in this room owned all of the farmland in the United States, and you offered me a 1% interest in it, and you said for a 1% interest in all the farmland in the United States, maybe group. Well, let's see. It says bargain price, $25 billion. I'll write you a check. $25 billion. Now I own 1% of the farmland. If you tell me you own 1% of the apartment houses in the United States, and you offer me a 1% interest, so I'll have a 1% in all the apartment houses in the country, whatever it may be, or about 25 billion or something, write you a check. It's very simple. Now, if you told me you owned all of the Bitcoin in the world, and you offered it to me for $25, I wouldn't take it, because what would I do with it? I have to sell it back to you one way or another. I mean, maybe I have the same people, but it isn't going to do anything. The apartments are going to produce rental, and the farms are going to produce food. And if I've got all the Bitcoin, I'm back where whatever his name was, who may or may not have existed, was 15 years ago. If I've got it all, he could create a mystery about it. But everybody knows what I'm like. I mean, if I'm trying to get rid of it, people will say, well, why should I buy some Bitcoin from you? I mean, why don't you call it Buffett coin? Make your own or something. What? Do something. But I'm not going to give you anything for it. And you'd be right, incidentally. But it explains the difference between productive assets and something that depends on the next guy paying you more than the last guy got.
Now, guys, this is what I I don't think that maybe I just think a little bit different. I'm not sure. But if you bought Bitcoin, you bought thousands of them when they was coming into, just 10 years ago or 6 years ago, and you bought 10,000 or 50,000 or just 1,000, and you kept it for a period of time, especially up to, to the 20,000 to 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000. Do the math. You can't, for people like us, the small people, you can't get a return rate on houses like that. You can't go buy a house and just say in a year or two and look at Bitcoin, what it's done each year. It's went up for 200%. So where are you going to get that in the stock market? I'm big on Bitcoin and Ethereum and all that. And even though I'm not heavily invested of anything in it, I like it. I seen it 5 6 years ago. It was going that way, and I told people at work that, hey, this is what's going to happen, and they was telling me, Jerry, can't touch it, can't feel it. And one of my best friends, Sean, he would say that he's like, Jerry, I can't touch it, can't feel it. It's just not. And I'm like, and I finally got this. I'm like, just because we can touch a dollar bill, just because we can touch a $20 bill or $100 bill, it is no different than Bitcoin. You can pay for stuff, you can get stuff. So we put value on to anything that we got. You know, um, clothing, apartments, like he says, and look at baseball cards. We got Mickey Mantles and Ty Cobbs, and look at, if you get a 1956 Mickey Mantle, it's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Well, who says that's worth that? Well, we do. I mean, we put our values on what we think because of our bringing up, our what we consider to be worthwhile to pay for something. The highest thing that we've ever paid for, that everybody's paid for, can you guess what that might be? Any guess at all? Dirt. Dirt is the highest thing we've ever paid for, because I live in a house and it cost, I'm pretty sure this house is about $250,000. So, give or take, it might be a little bit higher. But wherever you're living at, I mean, I'm sure some of you guys have gotten these houses at a cheaper rate, and if you sold a house, you're going to get some, but you're going to have to buy something else. So everything has value on it that we, do. He's going to come and talk about farmland and all that. I mean, farmland we got to have. Why we got to have that? Because of the food that we have, and who sets that price? It's always supply and demand, no matter what it is. Always supply and demand. So if something happens with a rainy season or a drought, or a tornado or something, a disaster, the price is going to go up just like oil. I remember gas prices at 89 cents. And I can remember telling my dad, I'll never ever see gas prices at $2. And he said this, and I was kind of shocked that my dad said that, Jerry, you're a fool. And he was 100% right. I know my dad's not going to watch this and anything, and I've told him before, but he was 100%, and I was a complete fool. So, but that was at a 16, 17-year-old kid, just didn't know anything. And now I'm 50, so still don't know much of anything, but I do know I was completely wrong. But we put value on everything. I mean, apartments, the government can't do very many things very well. Trust me, I know, because I know government employees, and they're great people. They are great people. Don't get me wrong. And the backbone of our country has been built on a lot of government employees. But you can't go and manufacture houses and all that. The private sector does a lot better than that. They do it, so that's why they give incentives and tax breaks and stuff like that. So hey, I'm gonna let Warren talk and everything. I apologize for going a little bit long and everything, but here's Warren again. Appreciate it, guys.
Net, if you look at it, a lot of commissions have been paid, and there's all kinds of frictional costs that are very real that somebody has paid. A bunch of people who facilitate this game. But whatever one group of the public has taken out, one group of owners, has come in from other people. Other people have entered the room and they've moved money around, but there's no more money in the room. It just changed hands with a lot of maybe fraud and costs involved, and a whole bunch of these. You lose, you forget the numbers or forget the equation. They, you can do that with a lot of things. I mean, it's been done throughout history. Certain things have value that don't produce something tangible. I mean, you can say a great painting probably will have some value 500 years from now, but not a pretty good. If it was a big enough name, at some point, but there will be a few things. I mean, you can find something pretty. If somebody wants to sell you a pyramid or something, and you can charge the people, it'll be around a long time. Lose anything, but people will find it interesting to go there because I read about the pyramids. But basically, assets to have value, to deliver something to somebody, and there's only one currency that's acceptable in the United States. I mean, you can come up with all kinds of things. We can put up Berkshire coins, or we can put up Berkshire money or anything like that. But get in trouble, I guess, if we call it money. But in the end, this is money. No reason in the world why the United States government, whose currency people prefer, literally there's 2.3, just under 2.3 trillion just of these little pieces of paper floating around some places, 7,000 for every woman and child in the United States, and of course most of them probably aren't in the United States. Who knows? But this is the only thing that's money.
Hey guys, I got to cut into this one right here. So yeah, we've in the last year and a half to 2 years, even with Trump, we've produced more money in the last 2 years, 3 years, have printed more money than the whole history of the United States. We've printed more money in these last couple of years than 200 and some years of our country being found. So you're not getting a return rate of what Bitcoin or Ethereum or Solana or Cardano, XRP return rate on our money whatsoever. You put that money into a bank right now and you're getting 0.001%. And why the banks are all going and shipping out our money and getting a return rate on our money that we earned, that we went out and worked for. So, yeah, he says that you have to have some value and what it takes. It's got to have an asset and it has to have a quality. I agree 100% with that. But if you're trying to make extra money and it's as long as you're not getting scammed or anything like that, I mean, I don't know. I agree with him in ways. I see what he's talking about, but what's the difference? Money has been laundered and gambled. It's been what has money not done illegally? What has money not done? For drugs, for arms, for weapons. They talk about how Bitcoin and all that is fraud, and there is people out there doing that. But somebody's trying to scam you out of your money by calling you up and saying, hey, you want a free trip to Hawaii, or hey, you need to give me your card, blah blah blah, and and there's people that's done that. Get rich schemes. So what's the difference? And I know he's put on a spot and all that, Warren is, but let me go back to Warren and everything. I apologize for butting into it and everything, but just my tidbit. I thank you, appreciate you.
Anybody that thinks the United States is going to change the way they let Berkshire money replace theirs, it's out of their mind. So anyway, with those few deficiencies, you can, whether it goes up or down in the next year or 5 years, 10 years, I don't know. But the one thing I'm pretty sure of is that it doesn't multiply, it doesn't produce anything. It's got a magic to it. And people have attached magics to lots of things. I mean, the gold on Wall Street. I mean, magic. We are not an insurance company, we're a tech company. Well, they're an insurance company, but a dozen people or so raise a lot of money. They just say, just don't pay any attention to the fact that we sell insurance. You're a tech company. Well, in the end, they wrote insurance, and overwhelmingly, they've lost a lot of money since then.
Yeah, I mean, once again, guys, we're, at the end of this, but, and I get what Warren's saying, and he's correct in so many ways. And Christian, Bitcoin is apex predator's asset. I don't know, buddy. I mean, kind of explain what you're talking about. Bitcoin threatens everything Buffett has or will ever have. I don't believe that. I mean, Buffett he owns tons and tons of stock into railroad companies. He saw that, that's an old transportation that doesn't get used as much as it did. Everything used to be on rails, and you look at the trucking company right now. Yeah, he did buy the rail probably for about 10 cents or whatever from Obama, but he bought, and you could be right, Christian, and I'm not sure on that. But all the freight used to come through the trains. So, and look at the truck drivers. I honestly have been a truck driver myself, and it's a different kind of people. It's a hard job. And they're needing millions and millions of people to fill those jobs. It's not easy. So all the freight that constantly goes on, all the food that goes on. So just my opinion on things, and yeah, he doesn't understand BDC, Bitcoin, at all. And majority of people don't, Christian. I mean, I didn't for a while. I do remember back when it first honestly came out, and I really didn't get to understand where you could go get the Bitcoin at. So, I wish I did. I wish I had put $1,000 down. I mean, I had $1,000 back then to be able to do it. But when you don't know the stuff and you got to get educated, that's something that YouTube has definitely done for us. TikTok has definitely done. TikTok has done all kinds of stuff to give me information. YouTube has given me information. Other people, CNBC, Fox Business, Fox News. So, and people like Warren Buffett. I mean, people that's been there, done that. I mean, how to, you could go, and there's so much money out there that people are willing to give you money if it's a good deal to buy homes, and as long as it's a good deal and you can manage a property and you can go fix it up or have somebody fix it up. There's deals out there. I do believe that we might not have a 2008, 2009 crisis, but it's going to be something like that. So the J.P. Morgans and the Goldman Sachs, people that was in the, caught in between, holding all the money for the bags, for the housing and everything. You saw what happened maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago in China. I think it was called Everglade or Evergreen, and that's been hush hush. You haven't seen anything out of China. I haven't seen anything about it out of China, but I watch a lot of CNBC throughout the day, and I get told by somebody that I watch it way too much. But just information, and information is key to everything. So, and that's what TikTok, that's what YouTube, that's what Twitter, that's what Instagram is. It's all about information. So, once again, guys, I appreciate it. It's been 20 minutes. Hopefully, I can get some more views. And please add a comment, hit the like button, and definitely share it for me. And hopefully I'll see you later with something else. Thanks a lot, guys.